Thank you very much, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. Mr. President, it's another special day today. A day for the Ninth Senate to make a difference after such a long time. Mr. President, distinguished and respected colleagues, it is with gratitude and humility that I rise to present the lead debate on this most crucial bill, which, when passed, will have a great positive impact on the growth of our great country. Mr. President, the bill is known by its short title, the Gender and Equal Opportunities Bill 2021. This bill seeks to further implement Section 42 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, and other matters connected therewith. It also seeks to provide certain provisions on the Convention for the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW, and the Protocol to the African Charter and Human and People's Rights on the rights of women in Africa and other matters connected therewith. This bill was read for the first time on this floor on Tuesday, the 26th of November, 2019. The bill will provide a legal basis and foundation for realization of the goal of Section 42 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. Similarly, it will allow for the domestication of the Convention for the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, as well as the Protocol for the African Charter on Human and People's Rights on the rights of women in Africa. This bill will provide a legal basis and foundation upon which there will be formal, structured, and institutional responses to prevent discrimination and provide for the rights of men and women, the equality of all persons, and opportunities available to all citizens, including people living with disability in Nigeria. The bill, when enacted, will provide for the prohibition of discrimination against both women and people living with disability, while also ensuring the equality of opportunities of every person. The bill shall ensure the full development and advancement of all persons for the purpose of guaranteeing them the exercise and enjoyment of human rights and fundamental freedoms, reinforcing Nigeria's constitutional legal framework for non-discrimination of a person as a right for its people. The bill will support agencies and stakeholders to recognize and respond to modification of sociocultural practices, ensuring the rights of widowers are recognized and protected, while also providing guidance towards eliminating gender stereotypes, prejudices, and emphasizing the promotion of equality of all Nigerians to access opportunities that enhance their dignity and well-being. The bill, when enacted, will also encourage women to aspire and attain their full potentials, considering the fact that there are real and nuanced forms of discrimination against women, limiting their entry and growth in most formal spheres of work. The bill therefore seeks to avail equal opportunities of career choices, growth and promotion, job security, as well as equal treatment in work value, especially as it relates to women's rights to paid maternity leave. This bill, when enacted, will assist in dislodging some of the barriers to women's equal access to all forms of financial credit, technical assistance, family benefits, and other aspects of cultural life. The bill will also consolidate government and community protection and zero tolerance for violence in any circumstance, while promoting peace and harmony in homes where all its members are guaranteed equal access and treatment against discrimination, particularly for the girl child, to access education, women participating and contributing to governance and public life, uninhibited by customary laws, all forms of sexual and gender-based violations as they seek to access education and decent life conditions. Mr. President, distinguished senators, you will find this bill beneficial for the clear and constructive ways the bill seeks to address several forms of issues bedeviling men and women in their constituencies in issues of land ownership, inheritance, education, employment, and rising tide of sexual and gender-based violence in private and public spaces of institutions of learning. The bill further consolidates Senate's courageous passage of the bill on sexual violence in higher institutions in Nigeria, assuring girls, women, and men protection from abuse and exploitation in our schools. The concerns and views related to text of the previous Gender and Equal Opportunity Bill have been largely addressed through deep sectoral consultations with faith and cultural institutions and leaders, youth, the media, and women groups across Nigeria. Let me say, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, that we have consulted far and wide before we brought it back for second reading. In fact, yesterday, I was opportune to be at the Sultan's outreach to all faith-based clerics on the bill, and they passed a vote of confidence on the bill. Responses and proposals harvested have been incorporated into the text of this new bill, Gender and Equal Opportunity Bill. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I am very grateful for the opportunity given to me to lead this debate on this bill. I want to believe that every distinguished senator wants progress, growth, stable and sustainable development for every Nigerian, especially the girl child, women, and for every Nigerian who will benefit when this bill is passed. Mr. President, the passage of this bill will also add another feather to the nest of the 9th Senate. Accordingly, I believe and pray that all distinguished senators will vigorously support this bill, along with my co-sponsors, to vote for the passage of the Gender and Equal Opportunities Bill. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Yusuf Abubakar Yusuf. I represent Taraba Central. First of all, let me say this bill is well written. And I could remember in the 8th Assembly it was debated in this chamber. However, from an Islamic perspective, which is a socio-cultural practice of Muslims.
Distinguished, I can't hear you. Is your mic working?
I said, sir, this bill was debated in the 8th Assembly, and it has come back here again. I said, from a socio-cultural practice, like the last paragraph of page 1, as Muslims, socio-cultural practice is the practice of our religion. And therefore, this aspect of it, by equating opportunities, actually infringes with the provisions of the Quran, of which I am a Muslim, and also the Bible. So, for me, I will not support.
Please, distinguished colleagues, please, let's listen to our colleagues when they speak.
I will not support the passage of this unless until the word equal is removed. If we now have debate on the Gender Opportunities Bill, fine. But when you bring equality into it, it infringes into the practice of Islamic religion. So that is where the conflict is. Because of this inconsistency, I will not support the passage of this bill for second reading. Thank you very much.
Senator Marco.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I remain Senator Adi Gyan, representing the very blessed people of Plateau North. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I stand to fully support the reading and passage of this bill on second reading, the Gender and Equal Opportunities Bill. And I want to say that our humanity endows us with rights and liberties which by law and international conventions are inalienable, irrespective of our race and our gender. History, however, is replete, Mr. President, with cases of denial and restriction of such rights and liberties to the extent that persons or groups that enjoy privileges and benefit of advantage ascribe to themselves powers to determine the liberties of others to the extent of subscribing such liberties. Women have been at the receiving end of being excluded or even suffer denial of rights and liberties. Distinguished colleagues, the struggle of all humans to enjoy inalienable rights have always emerged victorious over dominating forces over time. For me, women are not only entitled to equal opportunities, it's not equality but equal opportunities, but must be in fact and in practice. Moreover, being a woman is not being less human. Neither is femininity inferiority. I therefore want to canvass very strongly that we support the passage of this bill so that the rights, liberties, and opportunities will not just be for males, but for females, so that every woman, every lady, every mother, every daughter, and every sister will not only be entitled, but will actually enjoy these rights that are inalienable. I therefore urge my colleagues to support the passage of this very bill on second reading. I so canvass.
Senator Eko.
It's not about anybody. It's about Nigeria. It's about our future. It's about our children. It's about tomorrow. So, if we pass the bill, it is to our credit that we're making tomorrow better for 60% of the population. What we have done is that we have gotten people who they will understand to engage them. I am sorry to say to you, Mr. President, that most of the senators were engaged. Even the Christian senators were engaged. And everybody was made to understand. In fact, we got a Professor Mustafa who reduced everything to Quranic verses in the Quran. And it was not until we had finished all of this and put everything together that we came. So, if you still want us to engage after that, it means we will engage for the next 6 months. And then where do we go from here? But the ball is in your court, Your Excellency. Thank you.
No, I think that's not a fair comment.
To have this bill reach this stage. Those of us who are in the Senate will vividly remember, and that's why institutional memory is very, very important, that when this bill came in the Senate, it didn't receive the support and the consideration that I find it is receiving today on the floor of this chamber. But you see, it's one thing to work so hard to reach a place. It is another thing to justify the work you have done so far to be able to reach where you are. I have had consultation with distinguished Senator Olujimi on this matter. I do know that she went even to the extent of getting some imams involved in this matter. And it was obvious to her that at the end of it, it has nothing to do with religion. Nothing, absolutely. Because, like she rightly said, one of the imams took his time to go through the law, section by section, and then bring the Quranic verses that support that position. But that is not the case. My own thinking is this. Having reached this stage, and some little concerns that have been raised, which can be adequately taken care of, and in view of the fact that distinguished Senator Olujimi is a veteran on the floor of this National Assembly, having traveled all the way from the other side to this side, and consistently convincing her electorates that she is worthy of representing them in this chamber. I know that as a matter of practice, when an advice is coming from that side,
Which side?
distinguished senators, I'm sure you have no doubt about where I'm facing. So when an advice is...
No, there is no side here. The sides are there.
Okay. So, in conclusion, let me say that I adopt what distinguished Senator Remy had said in respect of this bill, and I urge my friend and colleague, distinguished Senator Olujimi, to draw the line of the advice of distinguished Senator Oluremi Tinubu, to which I have adopted, quoted, approved by me, and followed. And I urge my colleagues that we can stand down this thing and then get those who have concern, so that we can explain to them the position of this bill, so that at least let the work that you have done not be thrown away. And this is my advice. And I believe that I say this in good faith. Thank you very much.
I believe there is no problem with the bill as it is. The only problem that has been addressed by the two senators is the title of the bill. I said yesterday, Mr. President, that the Sultanate arranged an outreach where every of the Muslim clerics, including the Murik chairman, were present, and they gave a bill of clean health to. They gave a clean health to the bill, and we have also done that with the Christian clerics, and they've also given it a clean bill of health. However, if the problem is the title, equal opportunities, that they do not want, then we can change the title and make it Gender Equity Bill. Gender Equity Bill, rather than the Gender and Equal Opportunities Bill, which is offensive to them.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Very distinguished colleagues. I rise to make or enter an intervention on the debate. Mr. President, I want to identify with the contributions made earlier by our colleagues to the effect that this same bill was presented in this hollow chamber, in the 8th Senate. And those of us who have survived to be in the 9th Senate will remember vividly what happened to it. There's nothing wrong in representing a bill. But we must be very, very careful. This grandstanding, playing to the gallery, will not pay. I didn't want to make an intervention in the beginning because I believed very strongly that with the advice I discussed with the distinguished Senator Yusuf, that we may be doing ourselves a lot of justice and doing the country for whom we are making these laws a lot of justice if we do some further consultation to take care of those sensitive issues, those emotional issues that would seem to bother some members of this chamber and the outer population of our great country that we are making these laws for. I see nothing wrong in the advice that we are human. This idea of it has to happen or the world will collapse is a fallacy. This country belongs to all of us, male and women. So it will pay a lot of dividend if we concede some ground to one another, to listen better to one another, and seek further advice because of the intricacies of what the bill may entail if we pass it in the form in which it is. It is easy to say, oh, let's go to public hearing. By the time we public hearing, we had this experience sometimes, again, the 8th Senate. They will go and mobilize, all sorts of people in the name of being Nigerians to come there and take the day. Again, grandstanding. Again, playing to the galleries. So I would advise, most sincerely and in my honor, that it will pay us greater dividend, that we seek some advice. All right? This 9th Senate will not end until 2023. 23. What is the hurry? Let us also ponder for a while. There are things happening here we ignore at the peril of our reputation. Yes, you can have a simple majority, but a bill as fundamental as this one requires, a fuller representation in the Senate. By the time we pass it, Nigeria is speaking here. So let us be very careful, please. Let's have some little room for our neighbors, so that we don't vote or take a decision on the basis of this sentiment of the moment. So I advise that my very dear colleague should consider deeply the idea of withdrawing this bill for now and representing it after the consultation made.
Senator, at this point, make my final comments and then invite Senator Olujimi to state her final position. And my final comments will be, first of all, like Senator Balana Allah said, in the 8th Senate, the debate did not go this far, and the bill was killed. In this Senate, it's obvious that we want to pass a bill of this nature, but there are concerns. It means we have moved forward. I will advise that we don't kick the can down the road. Nothing is taken away from our desire to pass this bill once we engage. And when we say engage, now there is emphasis on getting the bill given to all of us. Senator Olujimi and any other person that understands that bill well should engage with those of our colleagues that have shown some concerns. I'm sure we are going to arrive at some compromises, and that is how it is. This bill will survive by the grace of God, but let's work for it to survive. And like the leader said, it starts and ends here, not any other person outside. When we go for public hearings, we just want to listen to further advice. But if our colleagues here are against something because they don't understand it, I think we will be overstretching our luck by saying, no, let's go to public hearing. Because the public hearing is only supposed to enhance what we do here, not to replace it. So this is my position. This bill should survive. We want to pass a bill that can be implemented. I think Senator Johnson just said that in every part of the country without reservation. We don't want this bill to suffer the kind of fate it did in the 8th Assembly. And Senator Olujimi, the sponsor, you have the floor. What is your final position on this?